Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the director. Chargers fans, we have an awesome video today. One that you guys left a suggestion for in my comments section a couple of videos back. And honestly, it was such a good idea. I decided, let's roll with it, man. Let's go ahead and rank the Chargers, how I think they're going to perform in the 2020 season by these tiers right here. I have superstar, Pro Bowl talent, quality starter, above average, average, below average, and backup / bud. But I think this is going to be a really fun video, guys. Thank you so much for leaving these suggestions. It kind of helps drive my content in a direction of stuff that you guys want to see, and I really do appreciate that. Well, before we get into this rankings list, guys, if you would hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this content, the small amount of time you guys take to hit that like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. We are over 15,000 subscribers now, guys, and I'm so honored and so grateful. Thank you so much for everything you guys continue to do in supporting this channel. Let's get started into this video. Now, I don't have every single Charger on here. It would be just way too long of a video, so we're just kind of fly through a lot of these guys because I think we've got so much to get through, and you guys are probably going to be a little bit surprised on the kind of decisions I'm making here because I'm very, very hyped for next season. Let's start with Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, where does he go? Below average, average, above average, quality starter? I think he's a Pro Bowl talent, man. Honestly, with what Austin Eckler did last year, there's no reason to believe he could be anything less than a Pro Bowl talent. A very fringe superstar, but I definitely think at least making the Pro Bowl this next upcoming season. So excited for that. Next up is Justin Jones. I think Justin Jones is going to get some more playing time than normal. I think he's going to be maybe just a little bit below average. Maybe I'm going to put him just at a little bit below average, but definitely not a bad player at all. I think he could definitely go out there and help Jerry Tillery out, you know, in those kinds of reps with Lindvall Joseph too. Next up is Melvin Ingram. I think Ingram is always year in and year out a Pro Bowl threat. Definitely excited to see him come back out there. Really hope that he has a lot left in the tank because I want to see the Chargers re-sign him next year. Next up is Storm Norton. I'm going to put Storm Norton in as a backup, not a bust. I'm going to say that every time I put somebody in this category. He is a backup. I do think that he's a little bit older. We picked him up out of the XFL. I think they do have a role in mind for him as a backup, but he could definitely climb, you know, maybe kind of like Trey Pipkins did over the last season. So you never know. Next up is our fearless leader, Tyrod Taylor. This one's going to be interesting, dudes. There's a lot of things in factor here for Tyrod Taylor. I think in the past, he has been perhaps a little bit below average, maybe fringe average. With the Chargers, I think that Tyrod Taylor could be an above average quarterback. We have so many pieces built around him for success. I think it would be impossible for him to be anything less than this. I really do. He's just set up for so much success out in LA. So I believe in Tyrod Taylor. I think he's going to be an above average player for us next season. Next up is Nick Vigil. I think Nick Vigil is definitely, when you're talking about average linebackers, and I think Nick Vigil could definitely be above average, but I'm going to put him in here just with my gut feeling. I really haven't looked at this list or done it yet, so I just kind of want to give my first impressions, an honest first impression with you guys, but I really do like Nick Vigil as a pickup this offseason. This linebacker core is definitely transforming. Next up is Mike Pouncy. Mike Pouncy to me has always been an above average center, maybe even a quality starter in the past in Miami, but definitely a very good piece here. Guys, above average for any lineman. On the offensive lineman, I think that's a great ranking. You're in good shape if you got yourself an above average center. I think that Mike Pouncy definitely is going to contribute a lot to this team. Next up is Rashad Jenkins. I'm going to give Rashad Jenkins maybe a little bit of below average. He has been climbing a little bit, but as of right now, I'm just going to put him at below average. I think he has some room to improve, but he's definitely not bad. And same thing with Dan Feeney. I think Feeney needs a little bit more progression. He definitely had his moments at average. So I'm going to put him at below average for right now. Next up is Chris Harris Jr. Pro Bowl talent, continues to be Pro Bowl, definitely in this defense. With the Chargers, with all the pieces we have right now, I think there's very little chance that he drops anywhere below like quality starter. I really do think he could be a Pro Bowl talent once again with the Chargers. He's going to fit right in there in LA. Next up is Trey Pipkins. I think Trey Pipkins, guys, starting the year last year was a below average kind of backup sort of category lineman. And I do think that he did climb the ladder last year into average, and maybe, just maybe, he climbs a little bit higher, but I think this is where I feel comfortable right now with Trey Pipkins at average. Next up is Sam Tevi. You guys ask me about him a lot. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to put him in this bottom category, and I'm going to have to label him a bust. I think we've seen a lot of Sam Tevi in the past, and I'm just not quite convinced he can, you know, handle a starting role. But hopefully that changes. I'm rooting for the guy, but at the same time, I'm going to put him in the bust category. Next up is our new... I'm so excited. Calm down, director. You can do this. Kenneth Murray, man. I think Kenneth Murray is going to shock people as far as how far he slid last year. I think he's going to be one of those guys like, oh man, I can't believe we passed up on Kenneth Murray. I'm going to put him not at average, not at above average, but quality starter for the Chargers at linebacker. I think really even his first year, I think we're talking, you know, like defensive player of the year candidate. I really do think it's going to go to Chase Young, but definitely he's going to be in that conversation because he just fits so well in this elite defense. I'm so high on Kenneth Murray, guys. I can't even tell you. So excited to see him come out and play. Next up is Easton Stick. I'm going to put Easton Stick at average, man. I think that, you know, he came out and shown in those preseason games, but he's going to be one of the best backups in the league right now. I really was excited with those preseason games. I think he has room to grow, but definitely a good quarterback right there. Next up, I think it's Braden Fehoko, I think his name is. I'm going to put him in as backup. He's one of our free agent acquisitions. I do think that he can climb the ladder as well, but a lot of potential with Braden here, so I'm excited to see how he does. Jerry Tillery, I'm going to put in below average for right now. We didn't get to see him play a lot. He is a first-round pick, though, so I do think you can make an argument for average as well, too, but I'm going to put him in at below average just until we see a little bit more from our former first-round pick. Next up, we got Forrest Lamp. I think this is the year, dude. We've been waiting for Forrest Lamp for so long. I'm going to put him up here in average. I think he could definitely be an above average lineman too. He has the potential, but I think this is the year we finally see him as a starter and not get injured. That's been the biggest problem with Forrest Lamp. Casey Hayward. I'm going to put Casey Hayward in Pro Bowl, dude. This guy really needs a Pro Bowl, man. I really believe in Casey Hayward. You know, oh my gosh, this whole dynamic of our defensive backs is just so exciting. Can't wait to see him come out again. KJ Hill. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I think KJ Hill, dude, honestly, I think he fits right here. I mean, naturally, I do think KJ Hill, a safe pick is for average. I'm going to put him in above average, man, especially for a 7th round pick in one of the deepest wide receiver classes I've ever seen. I think that we picked him up for a reason. I think he's going to play a lot of slot for us, and I think the talent is there, especially with the surrounding weapons for the Chargers. You know, my instinct is telling me above average. My mind is saying, you know, play it safe and go with average. I'm going to go above average for KJ Hill, man. I think we're going to use him more than a lot of people think. Next up is Justin Herbert. This one is really tough. This is a very controversial one to rank because we don't think he's going to be starting this year, but I do think if he does at any point, he definitely will be at least average, if not above average. Again, it's just because of how many pieces we've surrounded our quarterback with to succeed. So I'm gonna leave Justin Herbert there in above average as our quarterback if he does come in and start at any point in the season. Brian Bulaga, in my opinion, is still a quality starter at tackle. I think one of the coolest offseason acquisitions that we had this season. Very excited to see him play with the Chargers. Uchenna Nwosu, I also think is kind of hovering in quality starter, but I'm going to put him in above average for now. I think he was one of the better pickups from that draft too, guys. Very excited to see how he develops. Next up is Denzel Perryman. Also, I think above average. I think especially what he does is run stopping. So I think that, you know, 1-2 punch with Kenneth Murray and Denzel Perryman is going to be very exciting for next season. Next up, we have Justin Jackson. Honestly, I think a lot of people are going to want to put him here in average, but I do think Justin Jackson could definitely hold a very above average role. I've always been a huge believer in Justin Jackson, and I think that he's got a lot to show us out there still. So I don't know, man. Maybe even hovering into quality starter, you never know, but I'm going to put him here in above average for the Bolts. Next up is Trey Turner. Trey Turner, to me, is still a quality starter. Guys, look at this. We went from honestly a pretty terrible O-line last year to 2 guys, in my opinion, that are quality starters at the position. And again, above average is not terrible either. Average is still pretty good in my mind in comparison to what we've had in the past. So having 2 guys up here, very exciting. And at the same time, either one of these guys could easily jump into Pro Bowl. You never know, man. I think especially Trey Turner, in my mind, he could still be a Pro Bowl caliber talent. I want to leave him there, but I'm not. I'm gonna put him back in quality starter. Next up is Desmond King. I think Desmond King had a little bit of a dip last year. I want to put him in Pro Bowl so bad because I think, you know, he's been snubbed a couple of times, but I think that there's a chance that he's moving to safety. We don't know what his role is quite yet. I'm going to still put him in at quality starter. Very tempted to put him in at Pro Bowl talent as well. I think he could definitely do it, guys. You know what? I just screw it. I'm going to put him in at Pro Bowl talent. Just imagine having 3 Pro Bowlers, you know, at the position here. Doesn't mean they're going to make the Pro Bowl, but I think they have the talent to be in that conversation. I do believe in Desmond King, man. One off year doesn't disgrace a player for me. I do think Pro Bowl talent definitely is a possibility for him. Mike Williams, he's been, for me, a quality starter for a long time, but I'm going to tell you guys a secret, okay? I'm a huge believer in Mike Williams this year. I don't know why, man. I have a gut feeling that he could be a Pro Bowl quality talent. You know, I'm going to have to put Desmond King down here. I think I'm getting a little bit too carried away. But at the same time, I'm very, very high on Mike Williams this year. People are asking me, like, who's your guy for next season? Like a breakout candidate. I was like, you know what? He's already kind of broken out. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I just have a feeling about Mike Williams. I think that he can come out there and really shock people as one of the better wide receivers in the league next year. You never know. Joey Bosa, obviously going to be a superstar, one of the best players on this team. So excited to see him come back out next year. Let's move some of these guys down so we can have a little bit of variety here. Donald Parham coming up next. I'm going to put Donald Parham in average. I think he's going to be a Darren Waller kind of story for the Chargers. Excited to see how he performs. I'm going to also put... who is this? Joe Reed at average. I think that he's going to be a very good special teamer, though. So in that sense, he'll be an above average guy, in my opinion. But I think I'm going to put him as average here as well. Next up is Kazir White. To me, he's been a little below average, but at the same time, I still have some faith, and I'm going to put him in average as well. Keenan Allen, let's go ahead and throw him up at superstar. There's no better route runner in the NFL, in my opinion, other than Keenan Allen. Really, Keenan Allen is one of the top 5 wide receivers in the league, in my opinion. He's going to come out and absolutely dominate once again. Alohi Gilman. I'm honestly, you know, I want to say below average because I don't think he's going to play a lot, but I actually think there's a role for him that we drafted him specifically for. He'd probably even sneak into above average because they want him to play that Adrian Phillips kind of role. And you know what? I'm super high on him, actually. You know, as one of those mid-round picks, I don't know. I just have a feeling about it. Our team really loves Notre Dame players. You never know. Next up is Joshua Kelly. I'm going to put him in as average as well. I think he was drafted to be maybe our power back, you know, third and short kind of conversion situations. I do think Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler have a firm grip on that position, but I do think he's going to have some role to play this upcoming season. Next up is Hunter Henry. Again, Pro Bowl talent, in my opinion. Definitely needs to be in that conversation. Kind of shocked he hasn't made it yet. Just needs to stay healthy, in my opinion. But, oh my God, dude, look at this Chargers team. So excited for next year. Next up is Michael Davis. Davis, I'm going to put in... I want to say average, but I think he needs to become a little bit more consistent. I'm going to put him in below average for the team this upcoming year. I want to see him, you know, progress into the average category for me, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement and consistency when it comes to Michael Davis for me. Next up is Derwin James. Obviously a superstar on this team. I'm so excited to see this trio come back out, man. So Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Derwin James. So, like, really, when you think about the Chargers, if you're an opposing team, these are the guys that you really have to worry about. Some of the best talents in the NFL, in my opinion. Next up is Drue Tranquill. Drue Tranquill, I thought, you know, at some points was average, sometimes. No, I think he's going to be, you know, between quality starter and above average for me. I'm going to go above average for Drue Tranquill. I think one of the better, you know, mid-round picks of last year. So good. And I think that he does elevate that linebacker core a little bit. But look at where our linebackers are now, guys. Kenneth Murray, Denzel Perryman, Drue Tranquill, all above average or quality starters. So I'm getting very excited about that linebacker core. Next up is Seer Adderley. I don't know how he's going to play next year, man. My gut tells me to put him in above average because he was one of those late first round picks. He just didn't play, man. He just got hurt. He didn't play. I think he could definitely be above average, but until I see some evidence of that, I have to put him in average. But I do think the evidence is there to suggest that he could be above average. I think the talent is there. We just need to give him the opportunity. And lastly is Lindvall Joseph. Guys, Lindvall Joseph, in my opinion, he could be a Pro Bowl talent. I'm going to put him here in quality starter. I mean, my God, this guy came in, we brought him in to stop the run. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. And this defense is just going to absolutely be so hard to score on because of all the pieces that we put together in this perfect unison for the 2020 season. So one last look at this list, guys. We got, 3 superstars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pro Bowl talent players on the team. I think with quality starters, we have at least 5. Above average, we have at least 8. You know, the average, we have a lot. We only have a few below average, in my opinion. Not every player on the roster is on this list, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. So what do you guys think in the comment section below? A little bit of a longer video, but wanted to take my time getting excited about the Chargers with you guys. Let me know how your guys' rankings would differ. If they're different from mine or you have a counter argument, let me know. Just be respectful in the comment section. We're all Chargers fans here. We're all, you know, Bolt fam in the chat, and I want to reflect that conversation that we're all having in the chat together, you know, as a friendly fan base of Chargers fans. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been the Director. Remember to like and sub if you do like these Chargers videos. We'll see you next time, and as always, stay frosty.